Half swing, smash. Come on.
Right then, none of us like that shot, do we? Nobody likes the shank, I hate the S word, the hosel rocket. I want to thank Liam from Golf Vlogs UK for letting me use that clip. To be honest, I was rolling around on the floor laughing when I watched that. I have got his permission to use it, so it's perfectly all right. But what we're going to talk about today in this video is if you've got the shanks, how we're going to get rid of them. Hi guys, I'm Ali Taylor. If you're new to my channel, welcome down to Ali Taylor Golf. The idea of my content is to help you play better golf. Hopefully have a bit of fun while you're watching it, but ultimately let's get to today's video about stopping you hitting the shanks. Right then, nobody likes to see that strike, maybe unless you're playing against somebody. So like I said, start of this video, this is about getting rid of the shanks if you have it. Now, what is the shank? It's when you start striking the ball out of the hosel of the club, the heel of the club, and with the iron, it's that shot that sets off 60 degrees to the right, maybe curves that way, and really is absolutely horrible. Now, I also said at the start, I wanted to thank Liam for letting me use a clip that he posted on social media the other day. So I'm going to do a little analysis on what causes or what caused potentially his shank and what I see a lot with golfers. And we're going to give you a little drill of how you're going to stop doing it. So we saw with Liam, as he set up, pretty decent. Not going to get too into his golf swing, but what we saw, pretty decent. And on the way back, I want you to look at kind of a line touching the front of his head. Now what we see with his shot there is as he swings back, his head actually moves more towards the golf ball. So he's actually already nearer the golf ball. Certainly by the top of his swing, he's a lot closer to the golf ball than he was at address. Now, then it becomes how good he is at refinding that point. And unfortunately in that one, he moved towards the ball and didn't get far enough back. And we can see when we slow the video right down how the ball clearly makes contact with the hosel, disappears off to the right, and if you get a chance to watch it on social media, the next couple of seconds you do hear the golf ball pinging around. So that's something I see with a huge number of guys. There's a lot of ways you can get that horrible hosel strike, but the big one I think is how guys move nearer the golf ball, and it's very much down to kind of where the weight is in the feet and how it moves around. So when we get to address, I hear a lot of guys saying now they want to get the weight feeling like it's very on the balls of the feet or the toes. Now, when I set up to the golf ball like that, you can see if I draw a line down from my shoulder, my shoulders are actually outside my feet. Now, it's not too bad when you're static here, but it can be a real problem that as the club works behind you, you can go that way. Or if you manage to stay where you are, as you start down then, you start toppling forward. You can still compensate last minute and hit some very good shots. But I've never really been one to suffer from that strike. But I have to say last summer, I went to Carlton Park for a weekend and I had one with a gap wedge on a par 3 out of nowhere. Next shot was exactly the same, actually not quite as bad, but same. And then for the next 3 or 4 holes, it was really in my head about not striking it out of there. So a really good way of feeling it is as you set up to the golf ball, take your normal address position and then just lift your toes off the floor. So just curl your toes up. You should feel that that moves your weight a little bit more evenly between the ball and heel and the foot. And as you then set up to the golf ball with your toes up, you'll notice if I draw that same line down now from my shoulder, I'm now over my feet. So the good news is I've now got my body weight over my platform, so it's a lot easier to maintain my distance from the golf ball. Now you could even hit some shots toes up, Again, this is something I do quite a lot. So toes up. And all you'll feel is that that right toe will only really go down maybe just before impact, at impact, or after impact, just depending on how your body works. But I think it's a great little feeling, and it's even something that I would still do at address. So I would set up, feel that my toes are up. That allows me to move my distance from the ball to be correct. And then from there, let my toes settle. And if you can maintain that distance away from the golf ball, it's really, really key, because if you can keep this side of the club head away from the ball, you can never get the hosel there, and we can eliminate that shank. Right then, so like we saw there, as long as you're a good distance from the golf ball and a correct distance from the golf ball at address, and I've done various videos on these, I'll put a link up in the corner for one of them, but as long as you can get that correct distance from the golf ball and then maintain your balance during your swing, it's much, much easier to strike the ball out the middle of the club face. You might even get it a little bit towards the toe, but for anyone who's started to groove a mark on the hosel of their iron, they'll be delighted to get some toe strikes. And at least that toe strike, you've got the ball going towards the target rather than setting off 45, 60 degrees to the right and shaping away. Because like I said, that hosel strike can really, really get in your head and can absolutely ruin your game of golf and really spoil your enjoyment. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like and share it, comment below, and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you have enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out when I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down there soon. Stay in contact.